game of football, in my opinion. He's a 2006 college football national champion with the Florida Gators. You've seen him on Netflix's Swamp King's Hot Top Sports and on its own platform entitled Famous, the one, the only, the man who strikes fear, and the quarterbacks, Mr. Stephen Harris. How you doing, good brother?
Doing good, man. Thank you, man. That's a dope intro, man. Thank you, brother. I
Yeah, I
appreciate
try to
you.
give you one of them Steve Harveys.
Nah, you did good.
So to jump in, I always, I try to find out who's the person behind the titles, right?
Mm.
Whether you're an artist, whether you're an athlete. So who is Stephen Harris outside of football, outside of the sports media? Who is Stephen Harris as a person?
Oh man, a father, a
Mm-hmm,
husband, uh, community leader,
mm-hmm,
someone that has a lot of compassion for God's people. Um, you know, I got a big heart, just
mm-hmm,
big on giving back, big on
mm-hmm,
helping people, and
mm-hmm.
helping the youth, seeing them succeed, and donate my time for stuff like that. So
Yes,
that's who
sir.
you get.
Yes, sir. Of course, you're from Homestead, Florida. So, like, how was that growing up for you? Like in
Well,
Homestead.
well, yeah, I was born at Homestead Air Force
Mm-hmm,
Base. My
mm-hmm.
father was in the military, but I grew up in Coconut Grove,
Okay,
Miami.
Coconut Grove.
So yeah. So I'm from the Grove. Growing up there, as a kid, it was fun.
Mm-hmm,
We got a big sense of community where I'm from,
mm-hmm,
so everybody knows everybody. It's
mm-hmm,
a small area within Miami, so
mm-hmm.
we're like one big family in Coconut Grove. But growing up there, just experienced a lot of different things growing up in Miami, like the poverty and
Mhm,
drugs and violence and
mhm,
stuff. Grew up around that type of stuff, seeing that
mhm,
type of stuff. But for the most part, my neighborhood, the older guys there,
mhm,
although they did their thing in the streets and
mhm.
selling drugs, they tried to keep us out of that type of stuff, and they
Most definitely.
looked after the older people and stuff like
Mhm,
that. So I got a chance to grow up and be a kid and play
mhm.
and have fun. Although those things were around, it was no pressure for me to do those things.
Yes, sir. I'm from Tallahassee, but I grew up a Gator
Mhm.
fan, ironically. So I
Hey,
got
let's go, baby.
so
Yeah.
so
God is
with this,
good.
matter of fact, I got a relative, like a third cousin, play for the Gators. His name is Gavin Dickey.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, that's my boy.
yeah, yeah. So I gotta ask, you grew up in the Miami area, so like, was you a Cane growing up?
Actually, man, I don't even like telling this part of the story. I hate when people ask me that question. Because my
We can scratch
grandfather,
it.
my nah, my my grandfather was actually a Florida State fan, man. And so I spent most of my weekends with my grandfather. He had his own church, Elder Paul K. Harris. He had like a food bank and stuff. We did a lot of feed the needy type stuff. But
Yeah.
he was a FSU fan, man. So I grew up going on the weekends watching Peter Warwick
Yeah.
Dunn, and all those guys, man,
Mhm.
show out. So I wouldn't say I was a fan of Florida State,
Uh,
but I watched them growing up with my grandfather. But that was only on the
yeah.
weekends, and so I wasn't necessarily a fan
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But I did watch them growing up with my grandfather.
Kind of hard to deny Peter Ward. Them, that was a
Yeah,
serious
yeah,
squad.
yeah.
So I got to ask, of course, as you mentioned, you got kids.
Hmm.
So do you have to share, like, let me rephrase that. When you talk about your career as an athlete, like,
Hmm.
do they believe you off the rip, or do you have to go pull up the highlight tape on them?
Um, they know my oldest son. He was at Florida with me. He was
Hmm.
born in 2006, so he's a
Hmm.
championship baby.
Oh yeah.
So he knows and he sees it. The way people respond to me. He's been throughout the stadium and around, so he kind of knows the history. My youngest son,
Mhm.
he's the firecracker of the bunch. He believes he's better than everybody. Yeah, right now he's the runt. He's smaller than everybody, but that's how I started out. But he just got
Yes,
so
sir.
much passion and heart. He already tells me he's gonna be better than me. He's gonna have his
Mhm.
own documentary. Like the Netflix documentary, I had to make him watch it. He wouldn't even watch it. He was like, "I'm gonna have my own. I don't want to watch that." Like he didn't like
Yeah.
he's like he's that kid. So but yeah, no, they know who their daddy is. They know a lot of my friends are their uncles, my close buddies, so they're pretty
Mhm.
familiar with that aspect of my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. When did like I'm gonna take it back to like your teenage years. Like when did you know like you was good enough or special enough to play football in the college on the college level? Should I say?
Um, I didn't.
No.
I didn't start playing football. I didn't play no little league football.
Mhm.
Um, no organized sports until my junior year of high school. It was the first
Oh
time I
wow.
I played sports. But I was always athletic though.
Mhm.
Growing up in Coconut Grove, all the kids played together. There's a
Yeah,
park.
yeah.
Herrick Park was right across the street from my house, so we spent a lot of time playing football. I was quarterbacking,
Mhm.
juking people, running routes. I got hands, all kind of stuff. Like I was smaller then, so I was in high school. I got to Florida. I was 218. So
Mhm.
growing up, I was pretty athletic. I could jump, run, dribble,
Mhm.
all that
Mhm.
stuff. So and we played. We had so many kids in my neighborhood that we would
Mhm.
play street versus street. We can almost
Yeah,
have
yeah,
11
yeah,
on 11. We playing
yeah.
full out tackle, all kind of stuff. We playing tackle in the street. We'll knock you into a car, all
Yeah, that's
kind
good
of
old
stuff.
days.
Like, and so uh, I was in the upper echelon of the kids. Like when you getting picked, I would be,
Person.
I wasn't the number one, but I go top 5 in the
Yeah, yeah,
draft in
yeah.
my neighborhood kids who getting picked. So I knew I had something in me, but I didn't know per se like as far as going to college or nothing like that. I just go out there and play. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
was fortunate enough. My stepfather, when he came into our life, I was used to watch my little brothers and sisters all the time, so I didn't have time to play any sports. But one
Mhm.
day he was like he was going to start his own business, an
Mhm.
arm system company, and
Mhm.
that I should go do something, and
Yeah.
and he was like, you need to go play some sports. You got size and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
I went out, and my junior year I didn't start. I played behind somebody. That was
Mhm.
a senior. I felt like I could have started, but
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got to
Seniority.
start my senior year and uh, end up at Florida, man. It was like dream come, not even a dream come true, just a life changing moment, and it happened so fast. Going from not playing, not even thinking about it like that.
Mhm.
I loved it growing up, but I wasn't thinking about it professionally or nothing like that. There was no
Mhm.
real examples like that in my neighborhood. And
Mhm.
Frank Gore ended up going to the league right before me. And so
Mhm.
that not to the league, but to college, he got
College at Miami,
the
yeah.
scholarship to University of
Mhm.
Miami, and we're from the same neighborhood. So
Oh wow.
that was like, okay, hey man, you could do something, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
getting to go to the UM and see them and see
Mhm.
him at the campus and go to the practice kind of inspired me to be like, okay, you can probably do this. And
Mhm.
I just played, man, and end up getting a scholarship, bro.
Yeah. Was Florida like your first offer, or did they come like later?
Yeah, no, my first I had offers from like NC State, West
Mhm.
Virginia. I had committed to Missouri on my first
Oh
visit,
wow.
my first
Mhm.
college visit ever.
Mhm.
I go to Missouri and I committed to them that Sunday before I came home. Like, yeah, I'm coming here. Like, I had no idea. Like, I'm from the Grove, haven't seen much. Then to get that experience, it was
Mhm.
dope. I didn't know a lot of teams were after me like that.
Mhm.
But like the last recruiting weekend available for recruits. That
Mhm.
Friday, I was getting ready to walk out the house, and
Mhm.
the phone started ringing. It's like 7 in
Mhm.
the morning, and I was like, my mom them can get it. But then it was ringing. I
Yeah.
was like, nah, you know what? Let me turn around and answer the phone. They
Yeah.
sleeping, so I answered the phone, and it's Coach Red Anderson from the Gators.
Oh
He's like,
wow.
hey, big man, this is Coach Red Anderson from the Gators. So I've
Mhm.
been looking for you. I've been calling the school,
Mhm.
trying to reach you. We're not getting any
Mhm.
calls. I was like, you lying? He's like, no, this is Florida. I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "Yeah, we want you to come on a visit." I was like,
Uh-huh.
"What?" He's like, "Yeah, we got a private jet waiting for you right now." I was like, "I got
Wow.
school." He was like, "No, you don't have to go to school. Just go. We got a jet waiting for you. We want you to come on a visit. We're interested in you." I'm like, "Y'all
Wow.
lying." So I run upstairs, tell my stepfather. He's
Yeah.
like, "This ain't Florida. Don't want you, boy. Ain't no Florida on the phone." I'm like, "No, it is. It is." I give him the phone, and we packed my little bag, and we went to this little private airport in Miami. Big old Gator. No, it wasn't big, but a nice Gator blue jet,
That's
private
what's up.
jet. It had the orange Gator head on the side. I was like, oh
That's
my
what's
God.
up.
It was dope, man. Got to visit,
Uh-huh.
loved it. Came home that Sunday. They called me. It was like, how'd you like it? I was like, I
Mhm.
loved it, man. It was like, how would you like to be a Gator? I said, I love it. They're
Mhm.
like, well, congratulations. And
Oh wow.
yeah,
That's
last recruiting trip, bro.
yeah, that's like sound like a little documentary right there. We do
Yeah, man.
put that
Crazy
in your
story, bro.
biopic.
Yeah, crazy story, man.
Of course, you played for you had Ron Zook, then of
Hmm.
course uh, Urban Meyer. Two Florida coaches. That's I would say the most recent history that's that carries a lot of weight per
Hmm.
se. What's the biggest difference? Playing for Zook and then turn around and playing for Urban.
Um, Urban was just total no nonsense.
Hmm.
You know, he was he was strict.
Hmm.
He had his core values, and
Hmm.
he wasn't gonna budge on them. Zook was more of a player's coach. You know what I mean? He fire you up.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like you can go talk to him about anything. He's gonna give you
Hmm.
that energy. So it
Yeah.
made playing for him fun. But we needed the discipline from Urban.
Hmm.
Our
Yeah.
guys were a little too loose. We had all the athletic ability in the world,
Hmm.
but we needed a
Hmm.
little. We need to be more disciplined and being sound in our assignments and believing in each other. And I
Hmm.
think Coach Meyer brought that aspect to the team of everybody do their job and we can win. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You got enough talent. You don't have to try to do too much. Just do your job and do it at 110%. So
Yeah, and of course in Swamp Kings, you guys was look like y'all was wrestling. More so wrestling team versus a football team. Y'all choking each other out. So there
yeah.
was it like a weekly thing or?
Yeah, that was mat drills. We knew
Uh,
once a week that we would have those mat drills.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, a crazy experience. The first time we experienced anything like that was just one part of it, the choking out.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
did so many other drills before we got to that part of it. But the
yeah, yeah.
object of that drill, like you jump on the ground, the one man jump on the ground, the other guy standing behind them, and they blow the
Mm-hmm.
whistle,
Mm-hmm.
and the other guy that's on the ground, he has to
Mm-hmm.
try to get to the other side of the mat without
Yeah,
standing up.
yeah.
So the other guy has to jump on his back and stop him from getting to the other side of the mat.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And if you didn't stop your guy from getting
Mm-hmm.
to the other side of the mat at the end of all the drills, you
Mm-hmm.
had to do extra workouts, whether it was running, sit-ups, push-ups. So
Mm-hmm.
like you were punished if you didn't stop the guy.
Wow.
So that's why you had a lot of guys trying to choke people. But it's football, a game of inches, and you got
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
anything to stop somebody from getting that
Mm-hmm.
inch from crossing that goal line. So that put the mindset in us to we're teammates, but I got to take you out, man.
Yeah,
I
gotta
don't
take
want to do no
it.
extra running after this. So
Not
um,
today.
I never got choked out.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't I was I don't want to say I choked people out, but I was the guy they knew not to mess with. So,
Yeah, yeah,
and when
yeah.
I got up there, I'm like, hey, I'm going with you. If you try anything, I'm gonna choke you out. So, so go ahead and let me win the drill. Because if I don't win this drill, you might be in the ambulance.
Repercussions.
Yeah, we gonna make this thing work.
Sure, for sure. And speaking of the Swamp Kings documentary, like how did that come about? When the players
Yeah,
pitched at the Netflix, or did
yeah.
they reach
Well,
out to you guys?
they actually called my wife
Okay.
looking for me. They had this foreign number calling. I
Yeah.
believe people were from the UK.
Hmm.
Miss English, I think that's her name. But Catherine English, yeah.
Okay.
They reached out to me and said that they were trying to get it going. They didn't want to say it was with Netflix. They were saying Raw
Hmm.
TV because they was trying to. Netflix, I guess, had hired Raw TV to shoot it,
Yeah.
and if
Yeah.
they liked it, they would buy it from them.
Yeah.
And so they
Hmm.
were saying it's Raw TV, but she told me it was going to be on Netflix. I'm like, what? They was like, yeah, we want you to be a part of it.
Hmm.
But to me, they had already had people that they
Hmm.
talked to. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And these people were like, hey, man, if you're really trying to do the story, you need to reach out to Steven. He's been a big part of the program and
Yeah.
knows the in and outs of everything like that. He's a big leader here. So you guys really need to reach out to him. And they came to me, and I was like, yeah, I agree right away. I was like, if we're doing a story about Florida, um,
Hmm.
I knew from '02, the day I got there, to 2006 that I was a leader there. I've
Hmm.
been leading since a freshman. So I
Hmm.
felt like it was only right for me to give my story and just do it for the Gator Nation. I was like, you guys want to tell the story. I
Hmm.
definitely want to be a part of telling it.
Yes, sir. And my last question in regards to that. Looking back on your time with the Gators, who would you
Mhm.
say would be, I guess, the jokester and the most serious that was on the team?
You said the jokester?
Yeah, and the most serious teammate you had.
Jokester.
Because it seemed like there was a lot of personalities, you know.
Yeah. For me, my '06 guys, joking wise, oh man, it was so many, man. We got so many clowns on the team, man. Between Ray McDonald, Marcus Thomas,
Mhm,
Joe Cohen's funny,
mhm,
uh, Jeremy Mincy was hilarious.
mhm,
Um, we had such a brotherhood, bro, that everybody was funny. I can't necessarily say who's the funniest guy,
mhm.
because everybody to this day we're in a group chat, they still clowning. Like I might get a message any second now and die laughing. Like these guys are funny, man. But yeah,
I
as
got,
far
I,
as
got- I just thought, yeah, yeah, seriously.
serious guy, um,
It seemed
hmm,
like in the documentary, what's his name? Siler was
Scholar,
pretty. He
yeah,
seemed like he was pretty tight.
yeah. It's funny because we allow Saleh to have that role. Not saying
Yeah,
allowed him like that, but my
yeah.
defensive line unit, me, Marcus, Joe, Ray, we ran the
Hmm.
team. Like
Gotcha.
we ran the team on and off the field.
Hmm.
Nothing went past me. Nobody did anything without me knowing.
Yeah.
Nobody went anywhere without me knowing.
Hmm.
When we went out to the clubs or whatever, we went together. We didn't.
Hmm.
We went in together. We left together. I made sure
Yeah.
everybody was a unit,
Yeah.
and kind of led the team that way. But as far as energy, uh,
Hmm.
we needed a voice, to amp us up. Not amp us up, but you need a vocal leader. And Siler
Yes,
that
sir.
year before had gotten with Ray Lewis and
Hmm.
spent some time with him, and he just told him a couple things about being a leader and being
Hmm.
vocal. And it wasn't necessarily for us, the seniors,
Hmm.
but for the younger guys, that we
Hmm.
needed to perform as well for us to get there. And so
Hmm.
we elected him as a captain to have that voice. So a lot of the
Hmm.
yelling and stuff that you see him doing, um, he's a leader for sure, but it wasn't necessarily
Hmm.
directed at us or that we needed. We was a unit together. Like
Hmm.
all of our seniors, like we didn't need nobody yelling at us. We knew what to do. So
Hmm.
it was no fiction. But for the younger guys, yeah, he gonna put you in your place. Obviously
Yeah, yeah.
from the video, y'all saw that.
Oh, I had a fan question that came in as well. They
Mhm.
wanted to know, was Tebow really a walking Bible like he's portrayed to be, or
Yeah,
or
yeah,
was that
bro.
just putting on for
Yeah.
the camera?
No, everything you hear and seen about Tebow is 100% true. I was actually that guy, when he came, that didn't believe he was gonna be like that, like it was gonna last. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it did. He's definitely everything you hear about him is true.
Uh-huh.
He it's true, bro. It's true.
Mhm. And then, of course, I want to shift gears a little bit because I know, like you said, you still be around the program.
Hmm.
Uh, you want the alumni that still get an input, whether it's on social media, whether it's
Hmm.
going to practice and all that stuff. So, what is your opinion on the NIL, the transfer portal, and the flag plant? Of course, I know you guys used to plant the flag back in the day, which
Yeah,
I don't see nothing wrong with it. Just if you win, you win. So don't get
for
mad.
sure.
So,
Uh,
what is your opinion on the
far as
NIL?
I'm happy for the kids. I'm happy that they get a chance to get some revenue in their pocket and be able to set themselves up for after football or after college. It's important. So I'm glad that they get that opportunity.
Mhm.
Um, as far as transfer portal and stuff, it's a part of the game now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I understand it more than I did last year. So I'm a
Mhm.
little less I guess cold hearted about it.
Mhm.
Um I just we got so much tradition at Florida, and that's a
Yeah.
big part of college football. And
Mhm.
I want to still preserve some of that. I still want some of that to be preserved, especially
Yeah.
for these big programs. Like there's no way for me a program that big where you feel like you go there and then you can go to a Georgia, then you go
Yeah.
there, or you can go to a Florida State. That just
Yeah.
there's enough history, and your parents and everybody knows enough about this school to you just don't do those two things. You know what I mean? So I understand
Yeah.
people transferring and stuff, but if you come to Florida, before you come to Florida, know that if you do leave, you can't go to
Hmm.
Florida State or Georgia. That's just
Nah.
that's an unwritten law that when you come to Florida, a part of
Yeah.
that is when you get ready to leave, if you do leave, you can't go to those two schools. So if we can get that
Yeah.
written somewhere, I'll be totally fine. Just put that in a bylaw. Where you come to Florida, you can't go to those two. Every school should have uh or at least if you did it, you can't do it for at least 2 to 3 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like a no compete clause or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
every
like that.
school, your biggest rival, you should not be able to just leave there and go there. And more importantly to me, it shouldn't even be in your mind that you would do
Nah.
that. Like,
Nah.
that's a that's a player for me that doesn't have the right amount of passion or camaraderie or know what it takes to actually win
Mhm.
a championship. You
Correct.
can jump on a team and win the championship, but
Mhm.
you wouldn't know the formula to do it again. You couldn't
Nah.
replicate it. You know
Nah.
what I mean? And so that's a big part of it. You got to go through the ups and downs to know how to replicate that situation again. So
Yeah. Because I had a conversation watching a certain team a few days ago. One of our former running backs. I ain't
yeah,
gonna say his name.
yeah, that's why I'm
Went
already
over there.
on
So every
it.
time
Don't worry.
went over there every time he touched the ball, I'm like, man, he really made that move.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
hurts
yeah.
my soul. But
Anyone, but it's like that you got to wear that the rest of your life though. That grain of salt is not something that you want to wear. Like, for me, he'll never be able to wear that ring or boast about that happily without getting some backlash about it. Like, you know what I mean? They'll be like, "Oh, what's your name? Oh, you're the guy that left Florida." Like, it's never ever, bro. Like, ever in his life, that's gonna always be a part of that, and it sucks. You know what I mean? But you chose that path.
I remember about 15 years ago when I was in Tallahassee, I had another cousin that played for Florida State. He had Charlie Ward over to his house, right?
Mm,
Right there in Gator gear. I shook his hand, because I respect Charlie Ward as a player
right.
and as a person. But it just, when he's like, yeah, you should come on and be a Florida State fan. No, I'm good, brother.
Yeah,
But
yeah, like,
I still
yeah,
support
yeah.
you. It just can't do it.
Yeah,
Some
there's no
lines just
level
don't
of
cross.
celebrity that'll make me do it. Yeah, you could be Dion. It's not happening.
I want to get into some of your community things as well.
Hmm.
Why is it so important for you to be play a pivotal role in your community? Like, why is that so important to you?
Um, Personally, just make my heart feel good. Um, I feel like I feel like I've been blessed so much. The
Mm-hmm.
only way I feel fulfilled is when I give back, to see the smile on somebody else's face, to help somebody
Mm-hmm.
else in need. And I've been doing it since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Going to my grandfather's house and feeding the homeless and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, and feeding the needy. We had a soup kitchen, and I would
Mm-hmm.
serve people that were
Mm-hmm.
straight off the streets. You know what I mean?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And sit next to them and talk to them and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
engage with them. And
Yeah,
I just realized that a lot of people don't have what you have. They don't have the same circumstances, and
mm-hmm.
sometimes they just need that little boost or whatever, or the one thing you say to them can change their whole day or change their whole life. And so
Most
I
definitely.
grew up doing that, and it's just the only way I feel fulfilled, the only way I feel like I get my blessings.
Mm-hmm.
um it's just the only thing that makes me feel great.
Yes, sir. And also, can you tell us about your famous brand as well?
Oh yeah, so famous. It's about maybe 6-7 years ago. I started, when I was in my journey, spiritual
Uh-huh.
journey. I started doing like gospel rap music, and
Okay.
and I was asking God, like, what's my rap name? I never had
Yeah,
a
yeah,
nickname. Everybody called me Steve, Big Steve, Steve,
yeah,
but Big Steve just wasn't. It just wasn't cool enough far
yeah.
as a name. So one day I'm driving, and God was like,
Yeah,
"You famous?" I was like, "What? Famous?" He's like, "Yeah, you
yeah.
famous." I'm like, "That's my rap name." He's like, "Yeah, you famous." And then I was like, "What does that mean?" And instantly, it came to me, and he said,
Mhm.
"Faith allows me optimism under stress." Because
Nice.
I'm a guy that doesn't. I'm a pretty optimistic guy. I don't.
Mhm.
I look at the bright side of everything. I see good in
Yes, sir.
everything, or the
Mhm.
potential good in everything. So,
Yeah.
and that's because of my faith. And so
Mhm.
it only made sense to me to that acronym came. I had to pull
Yeah,
over. I was like, whoa, this is heavy.
that's the
And
one.
yeah, faith allows me optimism under stress. So whenever you're in
Mhm.
a stressful situation, long as you
Mhm.
have faith, you can be optimistic about the outcome. And so
I-
that's
Is
where
it
that came from.
is any of your music online on
Yeah, I got a
Spotify?
couple
Okay.
songs online.
Okay.
I I want to say I fell back from doing it a little bit, but I
Uh-huh.
do have some songs. My
Okay.
son makes beats and stuff now still.
Okay.
I still try to write every now and then, but
Mhm.
the wave people wasn't really feeling it at the moment. Not necessarily the music, but the world wasn't accepting gospel rap like that.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
times are changing, people are
Yeah,
waking
it's
up.
hot now.
Yeah, tired of hearing the bang bang shoot 'em up music.
Yeah, yeah.
People influencing the kids in a different manner. So but
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's definitely out there. I have a song called Problems. That's
Okay.
online. You can look that up. Um,
Okay.
yeah, pretty dope. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, definitely. And I get into the rotation as well.
Yeah, that'd be dope, man.
Yes, sir. So we're going before we go, we're gonna hit you with these rapid questions before we go.
hmm
Um, First one is, what are some of your hobbies?
My hobbies.
Yes, sir.
I'm a fisher. I like to fish. Like to listen to music. Like making music with my son. Um, I skate, rollerblade. But yeah, mainly fishing, man. I
Okay.
love fishing.
All right. And then the next one is, what was the biggest obstacle you had to face in your life, and how did you get through it?
Biggest obstacle. Hmm. It's funny. I don't look at obstacles the same, bro. Like
Uh-huh.
I couldn't say I had a major problem in my life. I had
Mhm.
problems, but God has just been so good to me. And I
Yes, sir.
know who he is and that it'll work
Hmm.
out. So I can't say I had a big obstacle, but
Hmm.
I guess being in college and being a young parent,
Hmm.
trying to navigate that, not
Hmm.
knowing about women, getting to school and
Hmm.
trying to figure it out, having multiple
Yeah.
kids while
Hmm.
I'm in college.
Hmm.
I believe that was a challenge, but credit to my son's mother, Kayla,
Hmm.
and my
Hmm.
wife, my current wife, for
Hmm.
being strong and
Hmm.
holding that down while she was in school still.
Yeah.
And so that was probably the most challenging thing.
Okay. And the next one is, how important is your faith to you?
My faith is everything. It's
Hmm.
who I am. Like
Hmm.
I go by the name famous. Faith allows me
Yeah.
optimism under stress.
Hmm.
Um, Even with my kids and my daily life and everybody I encounter, they know
Hmm.
that I'm that guy that that has ultimate faith and you know they can come to in any situation and I'll be able to help them out. So
Hmm.
God means everything to me. Everything
Hmm.
to my family. My mom,
Hmm.
she's the one that really instilled it in me, having
Hmm.
7 kids herself, being
Hmm.
a single mother, working 2 jobs. I had an
Hmm.
older brother that went to prison, did 17 and a half years.
Hmm.
I was the age of 9 when he went in. He was
Wow,
14. They charged him out as an adult.
man.
So just having that faith and enduring that,
Hmm.
it means everything to me.
Yes, sir. And a second to last one is, the most impactful moment of your life.
Most probably winning the championship, man.
Okay.
Just that sense of accomplishment and doing it with my brothers, my
Hmm.
teammates, and the relationships we have and the things we have been able to do and accomplish, and that bond that we've been able to hold for so long.
Hmm.
It's definitely made a big impact on my life for sure.
And then the last one is, what is next for Stephen Harris?
Uh, Man, helping the world.
All right.
You know what I mean? As a,
Hmm.
as a kid, God always told me that I would be wealthy enough to be able to help people in need, and
Hmm.
that's my only thing I want to do is be able to help those that need it.
Hmm.
So whether it's through mentoring, whether it's through my podcast, coaching,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
I'm here to help.
Yes, sir. And before we go, like, how can like promoters or community leaders reach you? To bring you on for their show or
Yeah.
to come talk to their kids.
For sure. You can reach out to me on through social media, or you can email me. But my social media is please FamoGain365 on X, and then Gator 93 on Instagram, and just Stephen Harris on Facebook. But yeah, you can reach out to me. I'm always available. Love giving back, love helping, man. I'm here for the people.
And also, too, how can they get the famous merch?
Right now, I'm in the process of getting an online site and stuff like that.
Okay.
So here in the future, I'm sure I'll reach out to you and you'll be able to get that information out as soon as I get it
Yes,
done.
sir.
I just wanted to make it a little more official. What happened? It was God gave me the vision. I jumped out on it early, and it was so
Yeah.
great, and it started going
Uh,
so good that it
yeah.
started getting like back ordered and stuff. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you
It'd
know
be
what,
like
God,
that.
I'm gonna put it down for right now and make
Yeah.
sure I do it right, because you don't want to do it the wrong way. So definitely, I'll be back up soon.
Okay. Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by the champ himself, Mr. Stephen Harris, aka the quarterback pressure man. All right. And we're gonna have some more great music coming right up on the Ontario ReShard show. So keep it locked here.
Go Gators, baby.
Yes, sir. Go Gators.